What's up, everybody? I am in a really bad place right now. I am in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Not a good place, I will tell you that. Now, here's the thing about Pine Bluff. The crime is so bad, somebody just said it. They call it Crime Bluff. And that is no joke. Right now I'm on the south side of town and I'm gonna drive up kind of in the downtown area for a little bit and kind of show you guys what it looks like here. And unfortunately for Pine Bluff, things are not going good right now. If you know anything about Arkansas, they're having a hard time right now. Here in Pine Bluff, there are about 40,000 people, and the population is going down just about every day, sadly. I think at one point there were 70,000 people. And it's just like any other city I talk about. Lots of jobs. Back in the day, Pine Bluff had it going on. They had manufacturing jobs, railroad jobs, places for people to make a pretty good living. And then, you know, NAFTA was a free trade agreement signed by Bill Clinton, who's from Arkansas. And what that did was a lot of jobs went overseas. They went to Canada, Mexico, down in Central America. And a lot of folks here in Pine Bluff lost their jobs. And it's been downhill here ever since. And we're gonna be getting closer to downtown here in a little bit. And I'll kind of show you downtown. We'll be there in about 5 minutes. But man, some of the neighborhoods I drove through in Pine Bluff are really, really bad. Just boarded up buildings, just trash, burned out stuff. I saw a hotel that was basically, it had burned down, and then all the lowlives had gone in and they're squatting in it and they burned the whole place down. There's a lot of burned down stuff in Pine Bluff, pretty much everywhere you go. It's really sad. Homes in Pine Bluff are about $50,000 a piece. So everybody complains it's too expensive. Where can I buy a house? It's too expensive anymore. Well, here in Pine Bluff, you can buy a house for $50,000 on average. But there's a ton of places here that are $10,000, $12,000. You get a nice big yard. So anybody that wants to complain about cost of living needs to come to rural Arkansas. That's all I have to say about rural Arkansas home prices. As you can imagine, they're pretty bad. I wish I could pan. I'm gonna turn down some of these streets, but the GoPro I have mounted doesn't let me turn. So you're just gonna have to just see the front view, by the way. As you'll see as I go through some of the neighborhoods, and I'm not going to the worst neighborhoods because I'm not dumb. It's daylight. I don't go to the bad neighborhoods unless it's 8 a.m. But 25 to 30% of people in Pine Bluff are on welfare. They live in poverty, food stamps. And that is really sad. I think somebody did a study on drug users, and like 28 or 30% of people in Pine Bluff tested positive for meth. And that's just the one that they tested that they caught. So drugs are a huge problem here, just like most places in this country. Just people are self-medicating. There's not a lot to do here. That's no excuse for doing drugs, but that's been a big part of the problem here, is drugs and poverty and crime. There's a university here, the University of Arkansas, Pine Bluff. It's a small school, nice looking place. I have to say, it's not a bad looking campus, but a lot of the kids who grow up here, if they do go to UAPB, they leave. Not a lot of people that graduate from college stay here, and a lot of the kids that grow up here leave just about as soon as they can. I saw a sign on the way in, and the population on the sign said 49,000, and that's about 10,000 off already, because there's 40,000 people here now. People just leave. I mean, they're going to Texas, Tennessee. There's just not a lot of opportunities in Pine Bluff for any really good jobs. There are some chicken processing plants. There's some paper mills. There's some good blue collar jobs, but guess what, people? A lot of people don't want to work. They don't want to do those jobs, even though they pay well. So a lot of people split town. They're like, there's no jobs here. I'm leaving. I think Arkansas is the 4th most dangerous city in the country, and Pine Bluff is pretty much the most dangerous place in Arkansas. So where I am now may not look sketchy because I'm on the main street here. I'm gonna possibly turn down some side roads, not really sketchy ones. I kind of only can turn right and head east because the sun is setting on my left, and you won't be able to see much because the sun will be too bright. So I have to kind of pick and choose the directions that I'm headed. But as you'll see, if I turn down some side streets, it's pretty sketchy, and the danger level is like off the chain. People getting shot all the time, carjackings, drugs, burned out stuff, people getting punched at rallies for saying the wrong thing. It's crazy. It's sad. I can tell you what, it makes you appreciate where you live when you come to a place like this struggling. I think I read that there are 90 churches in Pine Bluff, and there's 9 prisons. I don't think that the prisons are for just Pine Bluff people, because I don't think there's that many people here who they couldn't fill up the prisons in Pine Bluff. But there's 9 prisons in this county, and there's 90 churches. The cops are underfunded. A lot of people don't want to be police officers in Pine Bluff. They quit. They don't pay them very well. And so it's hard to get police officers to work here. A lot of them are retiring, and they don't want any part of it. So you got people running the streets, knowing that they can get away with whatever they want to do, and the police are just not around. So the population there is 40,000 people. It's dropped a lot. If you know anything about Arkansas, clearly there's a lot of things that are not going very well for this state with drug use and poverty and crime. And Pine Bluff is probably the biggest example of that. There's a burned out building right there on the right. As I get closer to downtown, you'll be able to see some worse if I can find downtown, because my phone is being used to go live, and direction wise, I don't want to get too turned around. Hey, somebody donated $10. I dig your content, unique and informative. Thanks, man. Ramium, I think I got your name right. So if you're just joining, right now I'm in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, and this is day 7 on a road trip through the Deep South. So I started in New Orleans, and we were there for a few days. If you were paying attention, I did some shorts down there, and I have some more shorts coming up. New Orleans is pretty much the murder capital of the country right now, and I got a lot of good footage down there of the lower 9th Ward, Gert City, if you're familiar, central city of New Orleans, where the crime is just out of control, and just a lot of the neighborhoods are demolished down there. But I did see some fun stuff in New Orleans. It's not going to be all negative. There's some good stuff in New Orleans too. And then we went to Natchitoches, Louisiana, and on the way we talked to some really interesting people down in middle of Louisiana, and I met some really funny people, some interesting people that were at some fast food restaurants. They were a good time, and they talked about the crime and the poverty and some of the drug use that's going on in Louisiana. And then I was in Shreveport yesterday, and I have to say, you'll see the video at some point. I've been to some really bad places before, and there are parts of Shreveport, Louisiana that I did not think I would see. Some of the worst neighborhoods I've ever seen that rival Oakland, Camden. I mean, just burned out neighborhoods that are really, really dangerous, where people had been shot like the day before for no reason. Well, there was probably a reason, but I don't think they felt that they wanted to be shot. And we're in Arkansas right now, and we're gonna be working our way across the state of Arkansas and over to Mississippi and Alabama, and showing everybody what the Deep South is like. It is 67 degrees, beautiful sunny day here in late March, and I kind of think that this is the best time to be in the Deep South, because it's clearly not hot and humid. It feels pretty good. There's a little bit of green on the trees, and I think people are in a pretty good mood. So, oh, it looks like I am in Whitehall. I'm gonna make a right, because we don't want to see Whitehall. We want to get down into some neighborhoods. And I'm going to try to see if I can find those without getting too far off base. So what I'm going to do right now is try to drop a pin on my phone so I can get to downtown and show you what that looks like. So let's see if I'm able to do that without too much drama. I don't think I can. YouTube should make it a lot easier to use another phone. All right, so I'm gonna try to go downtown without causing too much drama. Let's see if I can do this without getting a ticket. I got a ticket in Iowa. I don't know if anybody paid attention to that one. I never get tickets, and I got one for going 95 in a 55 or whatever it was. All right, bear with me now. The sun might be a little bright until I can start heading south again, but I'm gonna try to get into some hoods. Not bad hoods. Nobody wants me to get hurt, right? So we're in Pine Bluff, just on the outskirts actually, apparently. And if you're just joining me right now, Pine Bluff is pretty much one of the worst places to live in Arkansas. Here's what's interesting though. So I just met with a resident here. Her name's Angie, and she's lived here for about 8 or 9 years, and she's pretty positive about making change. And she's like, look, Pine Bluff is struggling. Everybody knows it. A lot of people are leaving, but I think that we can do better. I think that there's a lot of good in this city, and sadly, most of the people who have lived here their whole lives are negative. And she's like, I just moved here. I'm trying to make this place better. Why is everybody hating? But she said it's the same thing. A lot of people don't want to work. There's not a lot of jobs. Everyone's negative. A lot of people are on drugs. It's crazy dangerous. And a lot of people in Pine Bluff have kind of given up on changing the place. And what's interesting about that is we were just in Natchitoches, Louisiana, 3 days ago, and that place used to really be bad. But it took somebody caring. It took some community members coming together. They fixed up the downtown. They put a lot of money and effort into it. And now that place is one of the go-to tourist spots in the South. It's in all the magazines. Tourists come from all over the place, and it's got a really cool downtown. So I feel like places like Pine Bluff, they're bigger and it would be harder to fix them. But somebody just needs to give a shit. Somebody needs to care. Someone needs to try. Because if you don't, then places like this are just going to continue to go downhill. I see it all the time. Places that used to be good that are now no longer good. If you saw the video about my own hometown, that place used to be good in the 80s, and now it's not. It is a very, very sad place filled with people who don't care. And when you don't care, a place gets worse. So if people here in Pine Bluff and in some of the other cities that I'm going to show you can rally together and start to make change, then things can get better. But until that happens, they're going to continue to get worse. And I don't know. We're a young enough country now that we're starting to see our cities fall apart. But what are our bad cities going to look like in 50 years? Like the places that we see that are really bad now, what are they going to look like by the time we're old? Are they going to be completely collapsed? Are all these houses going to be like falling apart? Because I don't know. I mean, they're already falling apart. All right, I'm going to try to find some neighborhoods now. I'm not going to get too crazy, but I don't know exactly where I am, so I don't want to. Everybody likes to watch me run red lights. Oh, Nick usually runs those red lights. Uh-oh, I didn't run it. So Pine Bluff, Arkansas, we're here. It's just about 5:30 Central Time, and it's an example of another American city that was destroyed by a loss of jobs and people taking their businesses overseas, places shutting down. Then the crime goes up. People they don't have jobs, they stop working, and it kind of just goes downhill from there. All right, let me see here. All right, let's try to go down a street. Now I saw some really bad neighborhood earlier. As you can see, some of these, I mean, just about every street you drive down, there's boarded up, burned out, abandoned. I just turned down some random street. I wish I could turn the camera to the side so you could see it, but it's really sad here. And you can kind of tell that people have stopped caring because there's entire streets that are just terrible. And maybe they don't have the money, I understand, but you can have pride. You don't have to have a, you know, trash and burned out. And I mean, you know, be poor, but be clean. I don't know. All right, I'm gonna go down this next street that does not dead end into the woods because nobody wants to watch me drive through forest, do they? Some people probably do. So if there was a rush hour here, I guess this would be it. There's a Dollar General. You guys know how I feel about Dollar General. They do a really bad job on small towns because they run all the small mom and pops out with their cheap Chinese crap. Oh. All right. Sorry about all the noise in the car. I got a bunch of water bottles in there, plastic water bottles. So, Pine Bluff, Arkansas. A lot of drugs, a lot of crime. It's one of the most dangerous places in the country. I think Time Magazine called it the worst place in America in like the 90s. I don't know if it's any better now than it was then. I can't imagine it's any better. But sadly, there are just worse places than Pine Bluff now because if this isn't mentioned as a worst place by Time, then what does that say about the other places? And I'm telling you, every street you turn down has just really bad stuff going on. And this isn't the most dangerous place. I promised people that I wasn't going to go down into the true hoods. I could stream live at 7:30 in the morning when I drive into the really bad areas, but none of you guys are up probably. So I figured I'd catch you on your, I mean, you can see on the right, every street has at least one abandoned house, if not more. And it's just really sad to see how these places are. I mean, it doesn't even look like anybody even lives on this street. Okay, somebody lives right there. Dogs wandering all around. Uh-oh. This guy's home. All right. But I mean, look, there's mattresses. I mean, every street, there's debris and boards. It's really sad. I guess a lot of these people can't afford to leave, or they got family and friends and they don't want to leave, but yeah. And hey, like I said, I grew up in where I am from is Hood, and I still have family there and friends there. Sometimes you just can't leave. You don't want to leave. guess it's easy for me to assume that it's easy to get out of a place like this, huh? I don't know. I did. I left my hood. And the drugs are like, look at that house. Like, I don't even know. Does somebody live there? I can't imagine. Some of the houses, like, you think they're abandoned, but people are in them. And then the mall, so the mall at the end of town is completely abandoned. And apparently the homeless people have a key to get into the mall. And the cops are there every hour chasing the homeless people out of the mall at the end of town. I don't know why they don't figure out a way to keep them out, but they clearly burned out a lot of the hotels on the end of town. So I guess they outnumber the ability to stop them. Someone just said this is like a video game. This is real. Get off the video games. This is real life. This is real tragedy. Yes, this does sound like a Hemi, doesn't it? I wish I had a Hemi. All right, I'm going to try to turn down one more little neighborhood. It's really not... I'm not in the bad part of town. If you thought that was bad, you should have saw the stuff I saw earlier that I am not going to go into at 6 o'clock on a Monday. That was asking for it, and I don't like to ask for things. I like to sneak in when nobody knows I'm there, because that's how you get away with this stuff. Oh no, I'm crossing over. Okay, let's see. So if you're just joining me, I'm in Pine Bluff, Arkansas right now, which is one of the most dangerous, poorest places in the state. It's really sad. Drugs and crime and poverty. And there's really not a lot of hope for the people that have been here, because they're not really doing anything about it, I guess. I don't know. So this looks to be a very troubled area. I mean, again, I randomly turned down a street and boarded up, abandoned, trash, like everywhere in this town. Like everywhere. Holy crap. Like, it's everywhere. I mean, look at the property. I'm telling you. If you're looking for an I mean, if you think you cannot afford to live somewhere, there are places like this all over the country where you can get a house and a nice big yard for $30,000 and not have to deal with bums on the street, traffic, and all the other stuff that comes with big cities that you guys know I don't like. I mean, it's seriously everywhere here. I'm not going that way. If I turn right, and I can't show you what's down there because I can't turn the camera, but I am not going right. If I had a police escort, I'd go right, but I don't. Oh. Oh yeah, and the roads are terrible too. Did I say that already? So if I could find downtown, which I will be able to once I stop streaming, downtown is really, really bad. Just about all the streets are just abandoned. All the restaurants close at 6 o'clock. There's just not a lot of people in town to support the local businesses. A lot of stuff is not open anymore. It really, really looks really bad. But unless I ask somebody from the neighborhood I'm in how to get there, I don't think I'm going to be able to find it. I'm going east. Need to go south. All right. Well, how many people see a tractor going down the street where they live? I'd ask him how to get downtown, but I don't think he could hear me. America will find a way. I hope America finds a way. If it, it's just there's so much of this in our country that I don't know how. I don't hear a lot of success stories about cities turning themselves around. Chattanooga did. I had a video on that yesterday. There are some cases where cities are turning themselves around, but man, and to be honest, I think it's people don't want to work. I think drugs, fentanyl and drugs and all that stuff's taken over, and there's just a lot of work that needs to be done in this country. So I wish okay, there's the university. I'm so bad with directions. I'm just gonna go straight because at least there's something straight. Somebody says Watonka turned it around. Where's Watonka? But I mean, it's like they need to just, all these homes, they just need to do what Detroit did and other cities and just tear them down because people are squatting in them. They look bad. Nobody's going to invest in them. I know that takes money. It sounds easier than it is to just tear things down, but you got to do something. Like over here, it looks like they're tearing down that house. No trespassing means nothing to people in Pine Bluff. Putting no trespassing on a boarded up house means nothing. They don't care. It's almost like an invitation. I mean, look at, like, just turn down a street and everywhere. And I think that, like, it looks like they've torn down some stuff because I see a lot of parts where there's a lot of green space. So it looks like they have torn down a lot of this stuff. But I mean, look, okay. So looks like they tore down that. So maybe they are doing it. I should probably know a little bit more about it before I try to say that they're not, but they clearly have a lot of tearing down to do. I wish I need to invest in a pivoting camera so I don't have to, like, you can see that. But that's pretty much Pine Bluff, and you got to see just a small part of it, and it's just really, really, really sad. And I mean, you can see how it's just some random house in the middle of nowhere. Squatter's paradise, I guess. I bet you could probably buy that house for $500 if you wanted to. Somebody would gladly take your money. You'd be right next to the train station. Oh wait, am I getting close to downtown? Oh, did I find downtown? Did I accidentally find downtown? Okay, I think I found downtown. Okay, here's downtown. All right, so if you want to see really, really bad, downtown is struggling in a major way. I think there's a handful of small businesses downtown, but there's not a lot going on down there. I mean, the whole place is just really, really empty. Let's give you guys a little quick tour downtown. I guess I accidentally found my way. So again, this is just a loss of jobs, like deindustrialization. Everybody, I'm part of the problem. I like cheap Chinese crap too, but there just aren't any companies in this country that are building anything anymore. We're getting it all from overseas, and all this stuff has left. And you know, you build a city based on the businesses that are operating there, and then they shut down, and then you have these giant vacant buildings that don't really serve a purpose because nobody can afford. I mean, who needs a 4-story former sewing factory? I mean, you can't. I guess the homeless people turn it into that. Affordable housing, mixed use, whatever, but still, that kind of stuff takes money, and there's not a lot of that here. All right, downtown we go. I wish I could read the comments, you guys. I'm trying to figure out where I am and not get hit by anybody. All right, here's downtown. I mean, I wish I could show you, like, if you can see at the top of that building on the left, like that whole building's gone. Pretty much a lot of downtown's gone, but like there's an example right there up on the left corner. That used to be, I don't know, an apartment building or a factory, no idea. And it's just like that everywhere down here. I would like to run the red light. Oh wait, I don't have to. Apologize for the sun. If I turn this way, it's going to be really hard for you to see. I'll turn again in a second so that your eyes aren't blurred out. But like there's another, that was a motel, apparently. Anyway, we've all seen it before. It's nothing new. But a lot of people don't really hear about places like this, and I think that's what's the saddest part is. A lot of people have never even heard. I mean, we've all heard about other, you know, the Detroits of this country, but there's so many places that are just really, really bad and that you never even hear about. And sadly, everybody wants to see it. But like all of that, I don't even know what that was. Like that whole block is pretty much gone. I wish I could find my way to the burned out hotel that I saw earlier. That was really sad. All right, I got a train coming, so I'm gonna not get hit by it. Yeah, I mean, pretty much this whole street is gone. It looks like, okay, urban renewal projects. Looks like they're fixing up the one on the left. Clearly not the one on the right. The really pretty downtown building straight ahead looks good though. But I mean, like, everything. This is really bad. Yeah. I mean, it's almost like you couldn't even, Hollywood could not make that look any more abandoned. So that's a tour. I'm gonna probably bounce soon. I will go live again before the end of the trip, and I will show you guys another city. Maybe, sadly, I could show you guys, here's a really wonderful city I'm gonna go live in. I bet you like a third of you would come because you guys are sick and you wanna see bad, and nobody wants to see good, beautiful. You wanna see negative stuff. So actually, I might test that theory when I'm in a really nice place in the South. I think I'm gonna go live and I'm gonna prove to you that you guys only want to see bad, because I bet you hardly any of you guys will click on it. I'll put like live in a really pretty southern town, and I bet like 200 people will click on it. It's just how you guys are. Hey, Tommy. All right, you guys. So I'm gonna take off here before it gets too late. I gotta find a place to eat because I heard that there's not really, I mean, like, here's, like, you kind of almost feel like you see the same houses over and over, but they're not the same houses. I'm like, did I go down this street already, or are these all like burned out? I don't know. They all look the same. All right, you guys, I'm gonna bounce. Thank you for watching. Thank you for caring and for following the channel. I try to do my best. It is rewarding being able to travel for a career, but it's also very exhausting. And so I appreciate everybody following and learning. I try to learn myself. I think we're all trying to figure this out. And I'll catch you guys on the other side. Peace.